let us travel back in time to the early days of Battletech Video Gaming and paint up a Battlemech miniature here in the colors of the Crescent Hawks Mercenary Company. We're going to start off with a layer of Mechanicus Standard Gray Spray Primer from Games Workshop, Citadel line of paints, and I'm using my 3D printed priming tool to hold the miniatures. You can find a link to this tool down in the description below. We're beginning with a dark blue color. I have Cantor Blue from Games Workshop, Citadel line of paints. And when it comes to Crescent Hawks, the blue areas are kind of like the Kellhounds, where you're looking for the torsos as well as the extremities of the arms and the legs. And you want to cover all those areas in this dark blue color. I'm taking a bright blue color. I have Simone from Cultcraft's line of paints, mixing it into the Cantor Blue to get kind of a middle blue color. And I'm going to paint each of the raised armor panels on the mech, making sure not to get any paint in the crevices between the armor panels. Now you do have a little bit of thought process that goes into this step, because what you can do is choose not to paint the entirety of a panel and allow some of the dark blue to show through. If you do that, you're going to sell the effect that the Battlemech has seen some wear and tear and its paint job is kind of degraded and worn down a bit. Now let's move on to the gold armor panels. However, we're going to start with a light brown color for them, and I've got Leather Brown from Army Painter's War Paint series. The only thing to really think about here is to make sure your panels are symmetrical left or right on either side of the mech. And don't forget the windshields. I'm going to make them gold as well. Once dry, move on to the gold step. I'm using bright gold from Army Painter's War Paints Metallic series and paint these armor panels gold. And just like with the light blue, you can let some of the undercolors show through to sell that whole wear and tear story. Now there's not a lot of steps left at this point, but what I want to do is find some of the more interesting mechanical things, heat sinks, vents, jump jets, and weapons, and put a layer of bright silver on them. I've got Shining Silver from Army Painter's War Paints Metallic series. To finish off this simple paint job, I want to take a black wash. I'm going to make one by watering down Unlight from Cultcraft's line of paints, and apply this to not only the silver areas of the mech, but also the gray, prime, but not painted areas as well. And with that, we have a completed paint job with the Crescent Hawks Mercenary Company. Well, that is about all I have for you today. This particular video on the painting tutorial for the Crescent Hawks Mercenary Company came from a comment in my last video where I looked at some of the products from the Battletech Mercenaries Kickstarter. I think I finally got that right after about 4 different takes. So the little secret there is if you want to see me try to paint up some well-known faction from the Battletech universe, go ahead and leave a comment below. I might just get around to it because a number of the tutorials I have done over the years for painting Battlemechs have indeed come from the comments. But you might have noticed when I did the priming of this miniature, there's 2 other miniatures there, both being Comstar related mechs. So we might see some of those tutorials as well in the not too distant future. So with that, thank you guys all for watching. I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield, and I will see you next time.